Hey, congrats on going to class for this new type rating that you're training for. It could be the 327, 376, 74. It really doesn't matter, folks. But I can tell you, you're going to day one of class, you're looking around, you're meeting your classmates, you're meeting your sim partner, you're meeting your in-dock instructor. Perhaps they're handing you your books and your manuals, and you're realizing, man, I've got 20 days to learn an airplane that took 20 years to build. Here's 20,000 pages. Good luck. We're all counting on you. And that's kind of how it feels, folks. It's a daunting task, and I know the feeling because I've been there. And it's certainly one that doesn't leave you feeling very easy at the end of it. So I just want to share a couple tips and pointers for those of you going through training, particularly initial training right now. First things first, folks, obviously we got to get through that in-dock program, but then we get into what's going to be your first checking event, which is an oral, and then also we have your check ride. Now, some carriers do have what is referred to as phase validations, also known as gates. These phase validations or gates are typically not PREA reportable, meaning they don't show up on your pilot record. They're really just more of a company-specific thing. However, ultimately, you still need to pass these gates, these assessments, or these phase validations, if you will, to move on to the oral, the FAA checking event, and also, of course, the check ride, which is the FAA checking event at the end, where you're actually issued your type rating. Look, you're going to need to know memory items. You're going to need to know limitations. You're going to need to know lights and switches. And then I say these in order of priority. Memory items, limitations. These are the first two. They go together because I would venture to say that that is the tone setter of your oral. You're going to walk into the oral, give me the memory item for rapid depressurization. Give me the memory item for emergency descent. Give me the memory item for loss of braking. They're going to look for these memory items and limitations immediately, right off the bat. And you're going to want to be able to answer them to the best of your ability, verbatim, proficiently, and there's really not a whole lot of wiggle room there, folks. Now, when we get into the lights and switches discussion, depending on who you have, essentially they're all the same, but we need to be able to hold a healthy conversation with our examiner on each light switch system. The fault light, the auto logic, why it comes on, what might have triggered it to come on, what the corrective action may be, which is typically either an ECAM action or guidance by the QRH, depending on the plane you're in, maybe both. And from there, we need to hold a healthy conversation on that system, right? So for example, generators, typical output of the generators, how many AC power sources, what is the priority if there's some kind of prioritization on the airplane you're studying, the hydraulic system, how many pumps, normal operating PSI, what does the PTU do, when does it activate, a couple heavy users from each system. These kind of things are all going to need to be discussed, and we talk all about it, by the way, in our online program. If you're not familiar, we have a full online video ground school for the 737, A320, the CRJ, and we have some other aircraft being added to our online fleet here in the near future. Not only do we talk about the system, we review the system, we give you the probable oral question, the preferred response, because sometimes it's not that you don't know the system, but just that you're not sure how to articulate it in a way that ensures that they know that you know. And so it's all about how you express that you know and how we get these this knowledge out and how we're expressing the language, particularly with our examiner. So we talk all about that in the video, and then from there, it's time for the sim. Usually it's fixed-base sim, often referred to as either a cockpit procedure trainer, could be in a touchscreen trainer, could be in some kind of flight training device or FTD. It's a fixed-base device. It's a fixed-base sim. Here we're going to look at call-outs, profiles, checklist responses, procedures, SOPs, that kind of thing, right? Typically this comes after the oral. And so basically once we've gotten through the oral, memory item limitations, lights and switches, we're really going and gearing up for now SOPs, checklist responses, call-outs, procedures, profiles, this kind of thing. We do have a program for that as well. It's all included in our online ground school. A lot of people ask, I don't want to necessarily study anything that is not going to be conducive to good learning. I don't want any negative training. I don't want to learn anything that I shouldn't be learning from my current carrier. Is your program going to work for me? My answer to that, folks, is remember, no matter where you fly a 7.3 or no matter where you fly an A320, a steep turn is a steep turn. An engine failure on departure, the aerodynamics never change regardless of carrier. These are all the things we talk about in these briefing videos. Oh, by the way, the system videos, the systems never change either from company to company. A 320, normal law is normal law regardless of where you're flying it, and likewise, a landing gear transfer unit on a 737NG, otherwise known as the LGTU, is the same at any carrier that you. And so it's the way it's designed is very generic, it's very universal, and it applies really to wherever you're at. So I very highly encourage you to check it out. OneStepPrep.com. I know it's going to help you. It's helped several others before, and really that's what gives us the joy, the pleasure, and the purpose, the motivation behind creating content like what you see right now. You're watching me here on YouTube or all the other programs that we have available for you online at our website. So the sim briefing portion is really good after the oral. Once you get through that oral, you're going to want to go through the sim briefing portion where literally you're going to not only see me in front of the whiteboard, but also in the sim talking you through what it is I'm looking for in a steep turn, on a stall, on an unusual attitude, on a V1 cut, on a single engine ILS, perhaps on a 2-engine approach where we do a go around but we lose an engine on the go around, which is one of the more tricky things when compared to the V1 cut. I mean, all these things, it's obviously I'm talking fast because I got a lot to share and not much time to do it, but I encourage you folks, prepare. Take your career seriously, take the opportunity seriously, invest a small amount in yourself to have an exponential return on your investment in training, as I know that you will have just purely with the feedback and the responses we've got through whom we've been able to help with our product thus far. So wish you and your family a very happy new year, happy holiday season. Hope you had a very Merry Christmas. We look forward to working with you here in 2022. If you didn't know, folks, we are a 142 Flight Academy FAA certified and approved. We can issue type ratings. We look forward to welcoming you here in Miami. If you're in Miami, you want to stop by and maybe just have a coffee with us or whatever, please come on by. I'd love to have you here. Love to talk airplanes with you, see how we can put together some kind of program that'll aid in your success, and we look forward to working with you here in the coming new year. All the best to you and your family. We'll see you in another video.